Hi, my friends. Welcome to Sort of Brilliant, a show where the characters are made up and the sorting absolutely does matter. My name is Rachel.
And I'm her best friend and co-host, Lauren. Every other week, we're going to invade a fandom and determine whether your favorite character belongs in Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin.
We're the Harry Potter podcast that talks way more about any other franchise.
Here, we use the sorting structure from Harry Potter as a common language without supporting the author or her beliefs. As for the sorting itself, there's bound to be some arguments along the way.
But in the end, we're always right.
According to us.
According to us.
And I swear by the moon and the stars in the sky, I'll be there. And I swear
like the shadow that
across through the night,
I'll be there for better words. Till death do us part.
I love you with all every beat of my heart. I don't know the words.
All right, listen. I'm going to tell you a story.
Okay.
My heat's just going on behind me if you hear that.
Oh, I thought
but
you
don't
were
get
like,
mad
that
at
song
me.
put me. I was like, what?
The heat went on and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
Hannah's
no,
gonna be
and
mad.
I thought you were saying that song put me into heat. It's an ABO fic.
Whoa. No, listen, funny story. So, in Just Friends, they graduate in 95. So that song is very, like, prevalent of the 90s. And my personal connection to this, because you know I always have one, my older brother Jason and I, Ryan Reynolds movies were like our thing when I was growing up. And when this one came out, I was able to mock him for his entire life, to this day that I still do, because Jason's class of 99 and Jason's high school girlfriend, to which her prom that we met Natalie Portman and like had this beef, this same girl, she's been brought up on the pod before.
I hope she hears.
Their song was I Swear.
Oh my God.
And she had a little sister, so I always used to get brought out on dates. Like he'd go to her house and I'd go and hang out with her little sister. And I always used to like hear the song because they'd like play it and like slow dance. So I used to just pop up in random places in our house at her house and go, and I swear by the moon.
I thought you were going to say you popped up and go, raise your hands if your brother's a homo.
Oh, no. Probably at some point in the 90s, I said some fucked up shit like that. But, you know, we grow.
It's from the movie.
I know, but we grow. We don't quote those things anymore.
I would.
Lauren, wow.
I'm half homo on my mother's side,
She's on my mother's side. As a child from the 90s, don't label me. I'm not a soup can. That used to be on my MySpace.
Wow. Not your aim?
No.
Isn't your aim away message?
No, that was reserved for lyrics.
Oh, okay.
MySpace was all about me. But yeah, so I know all the words to that song and I would torment him with it. And when this movie came out, I was like, Jason, oh my God, it's you. And he's like, not me, because she was actually my girlfriend. I'm like, and I swear. I don't care. But I know all the words to it. I love it. I actually love that song. It's quite beautiful.
It's probably the only thing I know this song from. Probably. The only thing I've heard it from.
I mean, if you had an older, like, Gen X brother, you heard a lot of these types of fucking songs. I mean, on the whole, he was a metalhead, but he was a real simp for this girl.
Okay.
So.
That's fair.
I swear, and I swear. And then that like, guy with the deep voice comes in, and I swear. It's great. You should listen to it fully through. It's beautiful. But anyways, the reason that we were just doing that is because we're sorting Just Friends, the movie.
Yay! This is outside of holiday movies, my favorite movie ever in the entire world. And
I don't think it's outside of holiday movies, Lauren.
No. Like, it's not my favorite holiday movie. It's my favorite movie. Like, you can't.
Ever?
Yes. I love this movie. I could watch it constantly. In fact, I've watched it 3 times this season already because I watched it twice for the podcast and once just because it was my annual watch of it. But I fucking love this movie. And I've talked about this with a couple of people. It's a problematic movie, but it's the best kind of problematic. You know, I'm not sure if I'm explaining that correctly to any of you, but it's like you watch it and you're like, oh, you can't do that. And like, raise your hand if your brother's a homo and some of the other stuff in it. Like, you know, it's like, no, we don't do that anymore. In like the friend zone. Fun side fact, Rachel and I recorded an entire podcast talking about friend zoning and you'll never hear it. But
You'll never hear it.
It was a
whole weird thing
that happened.
We should
to
do
us.
like side fucking episodes where we just talk. Listen, I think people would like it.
Well, that's
I think
the
we have a lot of
Patreon,
interesting
right?
Things to say.
If we, if we set up the Patreon.
Oh man,
We'll release
give
that
me
episode.
money.
Yeah, we'll release that episode with it was a whole weird thing. I'm not even getting into it, but we talked about it for like an hour and a half. But it's not a real thing, and the movie kind of doesn't discredit it as a thing. It's kind of like, yeah, it is a thing, and he broke out of it. So, but Rachel pointed out like the movie makes it very clear that all the men are stupid and wrong, which I agree, and it's just the type of movie that somehow holds up through. Like it's funny and you don't feel bad for finding it funny. It's fucking hilarious.
That was kind of my thing because like Lauren, this was one of my favorite movies growing up, and I used to like watch it and rewatch it and watch it and rewatch it. And you know, as you grow, you start to pick up on things and you're like, ooh, is that okay? Like if you're watching Sex and the City, for example, a lot of that's real rough. This is it. I don't even think it touches that level of certain things that are fucked up.
I've heard some words in Sex and the City where I'm like, that's a bad word. Like,
you're real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, this one it's very late 90s, early 2000s humor. And like, if you're of the millennial age or the Gen X
the
age,
Notebook's so gay.
You know, yeah. everything was so gay. That's so gay.
Show emotion.
My God.
So gay.
Every single thing. You like, I swear I would like date boys and my girlfriends would be like, you're dating him? That's so gay. Like what? It didn't even make fucking sense. It never made sense. It's just something that we dumbly,
and also like, us too. I don't know that anybody ever told me that it was gay to date somebody else, but definitely if you're doing something girly, even as a girl, it's like, oh, that's so gay. And I'm like, how? That's the farthest thing from gay. Like
it
being
didn't
girly
ever make sense. Yeah, it was like lame.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't understand. I don't know. But one day I heard a bunch of people had a great awakening from Hilary Duff on some show when she was like, you really shouldn't say gay in a derogatory way. Yeah. I don't know what show it is, but it taught a lot of people.
Oh, good. Good for them. So it wasn't the Lizzie McGuire show?
I don't think so. I don't think Disney would have towed that line.
You don't think Disney would have gone so far as to say don't say gay as an insult?
No, I don't. I don't think they even would have even created a gay character during Lizzie McGuire years. No way. But yeah, I mean that's the extent of like, so it's the that's so gay, man jokes, and also like the friend zone thing definitely is fucking annoying. Because like Lauren said on that podcast we recorded, we talked a lot about the friend zone and how it straight up doesn't exist. Because it doesn't exist. It's a nice guy fable. It's a myth. The nice guy's always annoying and always in the wrong. And in this story, in this movie,
I'm such a nice guy. Why isn't anybody with me? Is the guy that's annoying. Genuinely nice guys do not go around saying, I'm so nice. Why doesn't everybody like me?
No. That nice guys finish last thing is fucking bullshit only said by men who are... Oh, this is the thing that in the movie always bugged me. Like, you are straight up being a horrible fucking friend. You're not a real friend to her. It's terrible because you're only there. It's only contingent on is she going to sleep with you.
Although, like, again, that movie like does weirdly do it right because he was genuinely her friend, and the reason that he like can't go through with sleeping with her is because he's like, but we're actually friends, and so it can't just be a hookup because there's emotions there. So it's like it weirdly. I don't know.
Because he is genuine. I think that's the thing is that he genuinely is in love with her, but also genuinely respects her as a person.
Not in like an incel way. Like he...
Exactly. Yeah. He respects her for who she is. He even says in the movie, like, I think you're beautiful inside and out. And it's true. He does really love the person
shirt
she
on
is.
For her. Like,
oh, yeah. But it does a great job of displaying what the nice guy in the fake-ass friend zone is like with Dusty. So... that is straight up what they're like. And when you're younger, when you're a teenager, you don't always, you definitely don't notice that. You don't see those red flags that boys are just, or some girls do it too, where they're just like getting all nice with you and acting like, yeah, I'll do that for you, of course. Oh my God. It's bullshit. They're only doing it to get in your pants. You're not a friend and you haven't been friend zoned because you can't be friend zoned if you were never a friend to begin with, dick.
Yeah.
You dick.
And I mean, that's the thing, too.
Busy,
like,
you dick. No, I'm busy, stupid
busy
dick.
Too, you stupid dick. I'm busy. I'm busy, too, stupid dick.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the movie, I don't know how much of this will make sense.
We're going to be quoting, it's going to be like the Always Sunny episode when we wouldn't shut the fuck up.
I can't.
Anna Faris is a goddess among women.
I think she's the perfect woman. I do.
The best like, I don't even want to hear about like What's Your Number or House Bunny and how they're stupid movies. She's amazing.
They're not. They're great.
Incredible.
I actually need to go to bat for all of the scary movies because she's fucking phenomenal in every single one. She makes every single one funny. She's so good.
She's so funny.
She's so good.
Chris Pratt is a giant dick full of shit.
She's gorgeous and funny. I don't understand what else you want, dickhead.
Somebody who
know.
hates the gays, Rachel.
I guess.
I don't know.
What the fuck? Like, I don't know how you can exist in 2022 with that mentality. It's weird.
I don't know.
I don't really understand
that he really
man.
hates the gays. He just goes to a church that's entire mentality is built around that philosophy. So, like, maybe he's the one who likes them.
Maybe I don't understand this man. I don't try to. It's fine. But I know he's a dumbass for giving her up. Hot takes on the pod. Chris Pratt, asshole. Jude Law, asshole.
Worst
Natalie
Chris.
Portman, asshole.
No, don't put Natalie Portman with that.
Natalie Portman, asshole in 1999.
All right, thank you.
I don't know about 2022.
At the beginning of her stardom.
Yeah. She's probably fine now.
Yeah, she did that movie with Ashton Kutcher. Where she
actually
stuffed
does
donuts
seem-
in her face. Yeah, she seems pretty chill.
She seems great now.
Yeah.
I liked her little bit on SNL where she was defending the prequels. That was great. Don't talk shit about the motherfucking prequels, bitch. That was good. She's funny. I've forgiven her. I mean, we've moved past it. We've made peace in our
When we
relationship.
see each other again, it'll be fine.
Exactly. Now, Jude Law, that motherfucker. I'm not.
It's hands on sight.
It's on site. That's
Did you
all
see
I'll
the
say.
TikTok I sent you of the dog fighting his owner? I sent it to you last night.
Fighting his owner.
Okay.
No.
All
I
right.
didn't.
Well, that's
Why?
I assume Jude Law, if you come up to him
Yeah,
on
I'll
the
go
street,
beat his
you'll have to
ass.
watch it later.
I will. The second we get off this, I'm going to go watch it. Thanks for finally opening up the TikTok messaging portion where I send you all the TikTok.
It's
Appreciate it.
because I go for like 4 or 5 months at a time where I like refuse to get on TikTok because when I get in TikTok moods, that's all I spend my free time doing. And I got other shit to do in my free time. So
Wow.
I got to wean myself off TikTok for a couple months.
Man, it's literally all I fucking do when I have free time. Quite literally in the car waiting to pick up the kid in the pickup TikTok.
No, well, I
On
mean,
breaks
if
at
I
work,
had
TikTok.
time like that, but I'm like, I do shit until midnight and then I go lie down and I'm like, that's supposed to be my reading time for 2 hours and I'll end up on fucking TikTok and then I'll never read a book. So
Enjoy it while it's relevant and good and still an app.
I mean, sure. Before
It'll
yeah.
die like all apps do.
No, better still here. Anyway, should we start talking about what we should be talking about?
I guess so. So Just Friends. Fucking hilarious.
So
completely underrated movie.
I don't even know if we should list who we're sorting because we might just end up sorting we're sorting, obviously.
We got 4 people on the docket.
Do
all
we?
right? Yeah.
I thought we could sort Dusty
5.
too. Yeah. Who do you
6.
say? His mom? Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Grander? Yeah. So, I mean, like
All right, let's
everybody
just
in
go.
the movie.
Let's
Darla
go down
and
the
Clark.
line. Darla Clark. Hufflepuffs.
Yeah, they both are.
So,
Seriously,
yeah, they are.
Seriously,
They are.
he comes back and Clark's like, sure, I'll be your best friend again and I'll let you like interrupt my work day to talk about your problems. And I'm complaining about my kid's childcare and you fucking crash my car on the highway for no reason.
Yep. See you in another 10 years,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
But then he will be there.
Yes.
He will straight up be there.
Mhm. All right, so we
great.
got them down there, Hufflepuffs.
Darla. I like girls. Darla. Okay. We could start with Chris since he's the
Grander.
main character of the movie.
Mhm.
All right. So this one, I feel like this was honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. They're all pretty obvious sorts. They're pretty fucking clear. To the point where I got angry about some of them, but that's okay. We'll talk about it when we get there.
I have to say, this is like the quintessential Ryan Reynolds movie. Like, he's one of those actors, kind of like Jake Johnson. And I guess Jack Black now, we've decided. They're never anybody but exactly who
But
they
themselves.
are. Yeah.
That's
and
so
Ryan
true.
Reynolds is a bit
He's
like
one of
that.
them.
Yeah. He's a
Oh, it's not a bit.
No,
I
he
feel
really
He's
is.
completely.
Yeah. I mean, I would almost give him a little more credit, but no, I can't.
He's done
can't.
dramas where he's not.
Yeah,
I agree, but
he's
for the most part,
he's exactly who he is in
It's-
which is so funny because he plays Deadpool and he literally does not change anything for Deadpool.
no, it's also Adam Sandler and it's also Jim Carrey. Like
Okay,
they
yeah.
are. I think it's just that when your personality is that big and interesting and unique and fun, like genuinely funny.
Mhm.
People want to see it, and that's why you get hired. Like,
But yeah.
I want to see Ryan Reynolds be
But
Ryan Reynolds.
Reynolds' thing is like the under the breath quips or like the quips tacked on to the end of a sentence where it's just like he's saying it as normal. Like one of my favorite lines from this movie isn't even like a thing or featured, but it's when they're in the plane and Samantha's like and she's like, ooh, mahi mahi. And she like gets up to microwave her fish. And she's like, oh, I'm so excited you came. And he's off camera and he goes, yeah, you're awful.
You're awful. You just hear it in the background.
And she's totally not paying attention. Yeah. It's the greatest thing. But that's Ryan Reynolds.
He really is such a perfect representation of like, if you as yourself, if you are a smart person who's ever been in a room with a bunch of fucking dicks
let the
and like
intrusive
morons,
thoughts win.
Yeah, you just let them all out. You just let them all out. He's surrounded by dumbasses all the time, and he sometimes it comes out.
Oh, now
but it comes out in the Ryan Reynolds way.
You've given me the opening to talk about my favorite scene, which is
Go for it.
I will, because he's the only sane person in that fucking entire conversation. When I can't wait to talk about Mikey. Mikey fucking comes in with the fucking street sign and the giant wire cutters, and his mom's not even. But that whole scene when they first get to his house in Jersey, and it's after his mom opens the door and just screams at him, and Samantha is like, ah! She starts genuinely screaming. But they're in the fucking living room. And he's like, and Mikey's like, oh my God, is this my Christmas present? Because he brought Samantha, his favorite singer. And she's got this poster that's where she's like covered in whipped cream and she's naked and she's eating a banana. So it's like a famous poster. So Mikey's like, dude, yeah, I have her poster on my wall. I slapped the ham to it like an hour ago. And his mom's like, what ham? Not the ham I just bought. And Samantha's like, oh, Mrs. Brander, do you have anything other than ham? I'm on the Paracone diet. Do you have like salmon? Salmon's such a lovely color for bedrooms. It's so calming. And they're just like, this is happening. And Chris is standing there like, what the fuck? He actually is like, I'm going to start drinking now. He's like, goodbye.
The only response. Hey, it makes a lot of sense when you find out what houses they're in that he's stuck in that room with. So, all right. So get into it. Chris is definitely a Slytherin. And I was telling Lauren about this the other night. He's like, if you've ever watched Community, to me, he's very much like Jeff Winger. And I was telling her it made a lot of sense to me as to why I really loved Jeff Winger. I find a lot of similarities between them. Like as a kid, I loved this movie. As a young adult, I loved Jeff. And I'm seeing the fucking parallels are crazy. I mean, obviously his whole situation is he leaves the town because he's perceived a rejection from this girl and he's so deeply in love with her. And it's that high school love. And it's the hardest one. It sucks so much ass. And he takes it in Slytherin fashion where he goes, okay, I'm going to actually use this as fuel.
Well, but also like he just ditches everybody. He like completely his thing is running, which is a very Slytherin response. Like,
sure.
It's like that Family Guy meme that you can't catch me gay thoughts. It's like you can't catch me problems. Like I'm just going to keep going and I'm going to be better and better and better.
But when you go, it's interesting because I think, the houses can have runners in different ways, but the Slytherin way of running is like
you run and you go you better yourself. Yeah, you get so much really better that like it builds armor, and then if this problem comes back, it can't hit you.
Yeah, it's one of the things I like about Slytherin House because the other houses run in ways that are not nowhere near as productive. I mean, for the most part,
it's avoidance. Like, it's not addressing the real problem and bettering yourself in every other area, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so he uses this avoidance tactic and he goes and he becomes a famous Hollywood, like, what is he?
He's a music producer, yeah.
He is. And he gets stuck with Samantha James, which he fucking hates. And
he went on a date with her and ended up in the emergency room. Don't know how, but.
Right. But he's completely jaded to the entire concept of love. Completely. Yeah. He's closed himself off.
I guess Athena's out.
I guess Athena's out. He, just because she is the one. She's the one. She was in his circle from day one. She's part of his circle. She always has been.
Well, no, he had Clark and Darla, but like that was his group in high school, and she was his big thing. Like they hung out all the time.
Before a crush, they were best friends. His best friend in the world. So she's his framework for how he sees the world completely, especially when it comes to dating women. Yeah, she hugely is. So when he removes that and starts to look at her like, oh, maybe she was the problem. He then makes himself this like,
and he starts like, Yeah, he starts like, this is how you don't be in the friend zone. So don't do day dates. Like, don't. Yeah. He builds his entire philosophy around like, how can I never make this happen to me again?
Yeah.
And I will never be emotionally attached to another woman again. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's pointing at the guy on the ice rink, and his friend's like, no, dude, they're dating. Mm-hmm. He's like, no, they're fucking not dating. Mm-hmm. He's a loser. And it's something that the movie, of course, it's annoying how it constantly tries to paint as like guys being put in the friend zone by their very hot friends, where it's like also showing how pathetic the guy is for even thinking that way and for sticking around. So if someone, it doesn't matter if it's what gender, it doesn't matter. If someone is like genuinely your friend, then they are your friend.
Here's
if you have
what
the
I
motive,
think. If you have feelings for somebody beyond friendship, you should let them know, and then they can let you know if that's going anywhere. And then if it's not, you can decide if your friendship is important enough that you need to get over yourself and be friends, or if you're a fucking dickweed and you're going to drop that whole friendship because you can't have what you want. Like
Exactly. Because it's fucking sinister. Mm-hmm. The idea of the friend zone in general, all of this, that kind of behavior is fucking sinister. That you have the audacity to get angry at someone for not liking you romantically.
Well, Jamie
and then
fucking says it.
Around.
She's like, so all of this is because I wouldn't like screw you in high school? Like, get over yourself.
Exactly. So Jamie did nothing wrong in this movie. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And Chris comes to see that, you know, like at the end, he takes responsibility for it, which
it's
is
a little
great.
bit
That's
of like the mindset that society perpetuates, right? Like in the beginning, you can see in the movie in the beginning when he's in her bedroom and she's in that short dress and she's like bouncing around on her bed and her like underwear, her legs are wide open, her underwear, because she's just like, he's a friend and I don't see him sexually. And you can tell the movie's trying to like get from his point of view where he's like, why would she be doing this? Like, you know, like, oh, like not necessarily teasing me, but like, why would she be doing? So
she's going to love me. She does love me.
Yeah. Like I said, this movie's interesting because I think it walks the line really well in being like, these are dick bags, but also like teaching the lesson, but also being like friend zoning. So I don't know.
It's a weird mixed bag of early 2000s shit. But I think, but I like that it comes out at the end where he admits fault for all of it. And because if he had communicated it from the beginning, maybe it would have turned out the way he wanted at that time.
Him, he did. And then she said, I love you like a brother. So.
Right. Yeah. So it didn't work out for him and he left, which is the thing that you should do. Because if you have feelings for somebody, then you don't stay around if they tell you that they don't reciprocate. Because if you're going to sit there and be salivating over them and then blame them for not liking you, then you're the fucking problem.
The thing is, too, he didn't get, like... I have to be careful about how I say... Like, So the thing is, he told her, and she gave her initial reaction, right? But then he didn't stick around to let her, like... I'm trying to be careful here because you shouldn't expect that once you tell somebody and if they initially say no, that they will change their mind because that's not true and they don't owe that to you. But he didn't, because obviously she did change her mind later on. And I don't think that the movie, and I don't think the movie was trying to or did say that because he came back and had lost weight and was successful, now she's into him. I don't think the movie was saying that at all. So I feel like almost what happened here is like he told her and she gave her initial, like, I only think of you because she's been thinking of him as a friend and she didn't really have a chance. Like they were at a high school party and everybody was pointing and laughing at them and she didn't really have a chance to think about it in that way. And then he comes back and starts asking her on dates, which he had never done in high school. All he did was tell her that he loved her. So she like got the chance to experience him in that way. And and that's, you know, that's where those types of feelings started growing.
I also think he did the motivation for leaving and running. I don't think that's the right thing to use revenge as a motive for running. Because he goes on to better himself and change and he becomes kind of a dickhead, especially towards women because of this experience.
It wasn't really, so this was interesting too, because I never really like paid attention to this before until I started thinking of him as a Slytherin, is he didn't run away for revenge. And like the thing he yells when he's riding his bike away is, you'll all see, Chris Brander's gonna be somebody. So like he goes off to like make something of himself and he plans on never.
May not be revenge, but it's like, it's in that category of vengeful.
Well, it's spite, right? He's spiting everybody who was like, you're a loser.
Correct.
But he's planning on never coming back. He avoided New Jersey for 10 years. He was like never ever going back to that shithole. So he does go back and he sees Jamie and he's ready to go. He's ready to go with Samantha, and that fucking jock dude shows up and is like, oh, Jamie Palomino, like you could have never had her in high school, and I bet you could now. And that's kind of when he's like, that's kind of when the Slytherin kicks in, and he's like, I bet I could, and I want to see that. So he's like, this is the one thing. This is the one thing I failed at, and now I won't fail because I am this like high-powered hot guy. So,
but it's great because you're given the insight into a Slytherin's brain. You're watching him do it while his actions are saying something completely different. Because he goes into his room and he looks at the pictures of her and him, and he's pining over them. And he looks at her from across the room and he's pining over her, and it's a genuine love. And then the spite part of his brain kicks in,
right?
And it's like, no, I can actually do this. I can conquer this because I can conquer fucking anything.
Yeah, and I mean, and he does it in a like it's a manipulative way when he's like, when he has that whole like thing in the what is it, on the way home, or in the dentist's office when he's getting his teeth fixed. He's like, Jamie always went for the bad guys. That's why she never went for me in high school. And then Clark's like, well, maybe like Jamie's grown a lot, so she's not like that anymore. And he's like, she likes pussies. And then he like puts on the sweater and invites her to the Notebook. So he is like, you know, he's doing everything he can to manipulate the situation.
Right.
But then when like push comes to shove, he gets her in bed and he doesn't have sex with her because he's like, I can't just have meaningless sex with Jamie Palomino.
Right. And I mean, that's the thing. That's the brain versus the action. So you're seeing what he actually truly wants in his actions. And then it's really, you get frustrated for him as you're watching the movie unfold, because if he could just shut that very Slytherin part of his brain down for a second and he could genuinely sit there and talk to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he could talk to her like a normal person, she would like him.
Like he has that old list of like 100 reasons Jamie is the best person ever. And he puts it in the Christmas card and like brings it to her house. And then fucking Dusty there is singing his song and he's like all sad and is like, I could never compete with that. And you're like, dude, don't do this to yourself. Like, this is the extreme opposite direction.
The message is be yourself.
Be yourself.
Be yourself.
I don't want to be myself.
Right. But mommy's right.
Another fantastic fucking. Who wrote
my snow globe collection?
Wrote this movie? The way he says it, my snow globe collection, and then he's like,
and he rubs his face on it.
He's twisting the little musical box.
Too good. Too fucking good.
Who wrote this movie? It's amazing. It's so good. Fucking random.
Write more movies.
I want to know how much of it was fucking improv.
Probably a lot. Probably a lot.
My snow globe collection.
No, okay, so Mikey, and then it's also like just even that's Slytherin. I bet you can go into if you have a Slytherin whose parents really loved them, I bet you can go back into their bedrooms like in their childhood homes and their rooms weren't fucking touched. And they're like, this is my collection. These are my collections. These are my things. My mommy loves me, and these are my things.
The way he says it, too, when he's, like, in the garage, because he was a bad skater in high school, and now he's on a not minor league, but he's on a beer league, basically. He's a good hockey player on his hockey league.
Right.
And so he asks her to go skating, and he's like, oh, I'm a really good skater now. Like, I'll show off, and she'll find that hot. And so when he's like, Mom, where are my skates? Like, the way he says it is like, I need my skates to show off my talents. Like, that's such a weird way to say it.
It's so, Lauren, it's so Jeff Winger. Like, it's so much like Jeff. Show me how to be like you. Like, it's literally the same shit. It's the same kind of fucking dude. It's hilarious.
It's not, I need my skates to look good, or I need my skates to, like, impress her. I need to show off my talents. Yeah.
I mean, just like breezing through it, the way he beats the shit out of kids. This is why I told Lauren, this is why I don't meet any Slytherin teachers, because y'all would beat the fuck out of them if they start getting wild at the mouth.
That's a little girl.
Which they do. Right. Which they do. What do they call them? What do they call them?
Suckster.
Suckster?
Yeah, Suckster. Yeah,
the way they like chant that and shit. And they're like, we like Dusty. Like that's children.
Yeah.
This what a great depiction of what actual school children are like. When they go up and they hug her, whatever. This is my daily life. Daily life. And it's so perfect, because if you put a Slytherin in that position, they're gonna take it as a fight and a competition, and they are gonna tell the kid, like, fuck off, kid.
You're old enough to talk shit. You're old enough to deal with the consequences.
You're old enough to get hit. And it's great. It's very Slytherin reaction. So there's that, and then there's his relationship with Samantha James in general, where he's not even trying very hard,
pretending that he's into her, like not even close.
She's just very in her own world and self-absorbed.
When she's at his house and he's like, I don't like you very much, and she goes insane and like hits him with the taser, and then he manages to tackle her, and she's like, ooh, yeah, I like it. It's like, no,
how'd you get in my house?
No.
My bodyguard let me in. Normal. Yeah,
like,
so he like his,
and he has the whole epiphany where he's like, you can't make somebody like you.
yes, exactly. And through his like verbal abuse of this poor girl, Samantha is a very misunderstood character. Okay.
Oh yeah, God, sorry.
Wild,
I'm sorry, I'm not a whore. I'm sorry, I'm not fat. Wait, where are you going?
Oh my God. Oh, she killed this fucking movie. Her and Ryan Reynolds together. They need to do another movie.
So I watched this with Hannah when we were like, we're gonna do this. So I was at Hannah's 2 weekends ago. So we watched it. And we were talking because we talked a little bit about what a dick Chris Pratt is, and and we were talking.
As you do.
Well, yeah, but then we were also talking about Ryan Reynolds and how he used to date Scarlett Johansson, or he was married to her.
They were married.
Yeah, they were married. I'm sorry. So and then he had a little of a thing with Sandra Bullock, and they got divorced, and then he ended up marrying Serena van der Woodsen. But Blake Lively. But Hannah was like, I find him and ScarJo so weird. She's like, not because they like couldn't be together, but she was like, her ScarJo's energy is so like
it's
mellow and like chill, and like she doesn't like her reaction to jokes is probably just like, yeah. And Ryan Reynolds is like very dry and like
she's a cat, he's a dog.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Basically.
He married another dog. They're two golden retrievers together, and they made a golden retriever
show
family.
Off their
It's great.
Yeah.
Sometimes cats and dogs work. That they're two breeds that don't
you're exactly
get
right.
along very well.
You're exactly right.
But yeah, so I viewed them.
I misremembered this conversation because I thought we were talking about whose energy. Well, no, we did talk about how we were like Anna Faris's energy would have matched like Ryan Reynolds way better, like in real life if they had been a couple or whatever.
They should do another movie together.
They should.
The fucking she
has he ever been on her podcast?
The things he'll do. I don't think so. I don't know. I feel like I would have seen clips of it or something.
Right.
But yeah, so his reaction to her is extremely Slytherin. He's not pulling any punches. He's like, "You're awful." And if she hears him, great. If she doesn't, great. Like he really doesn't actually care.
Yeah, he's just saying whatever the fuck. Like when he first shows up to the recording studio, and she's like, he's like, I can't hear you, Samantha. I can't hear you. Ooh, light bulb. He's like, he does not give a shit. And it's so funny. And it's so funny too, because he was sent there by his boss, and his boss was like, sign her or you're fired, basically. And he's like, okay, and like drags his feet and goes to do his job, but he's not like kissing her ass.
Not
like,
trying very hard.
No, I mean,
he could have got her signed.
But he did. He's doing the shit. Like she's like, let's go to Paris. And he's like, fuck, I guess I'm going to Paris. Like he's doing what he needs to do, but he's not going to pretend to enjoy it. Like
not
he's
at all.
She's like, forgiveness is more than saying, and he's sitting there like with the worst look on his face. Like not even.
Yeah. It's true. And then his relationship with his brother is also very Slytherin.
Yes,
like just the
his
way.
brother's house.
Yeah,
fantastic. I don't. There were so many. Oh, I told Rachel that whisper fight that they have over Samantha when she's sleeping. When he comes in, he's like, "Go on to Jamie's. You have to distract her." And they're like about to throw punches at each other, and Mikey's eating a cookie, and then Mikey like breaks off half the cookie and hands it to him, and then Ryan Reynolds is like, or Chris is like, "I love you." Mikey's like, "I love you too."
Yeah. Yeah, and they can just beat the absolute fuck out of each other, and then just they're cool with it after.
Yeah,
which is
he's like truce. It's my boss, truce. He's got his hand over his face,
dude. I shit you not. Their physical fights are my favorite parts of the movie. Like other than Samantha James beating the shit out of that guy at the concert,
fucking him,
their physical fights.
When Mikey's on the phone when he's trying to talk to Jamie, and he's like starts going no, he kicks the fucking door down. And he just goes.
Unmatched comedy, fucking unmatched.
Fucking it's so I didn't like the physical comedy, and because it's not even just with his brother. The fucking Dusty, he pokes his head,
all of it,
head in the curtain. Would you like to join us in a carol to celebrate the birth of our Lord? And he just goes,
fucking Dusty, God. So actually, well then, since we're just like working through the movie, then I will mention Mikey's house since we are talking about him. their fights make sense because his brother's a Gryffindor. So this is a very Slytherin-Gryffindor sibling relationship. You see it if you've ever watched Sam and Dean Winchester, like in one of the episodes where they're just hanging out. They will start just like putting hands on each other.
With Gabriel when they're seeing, the episode where they're seeing things from the other's point of view. So when it's like Sam's like and blah 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 blah.
Yep. If you give a Slytherin okay, so I would
thought you were going to say if you give a Slytherin a cookie, you're going to hold the whole story.
I own all of those books. I was going to say if you give me a Slytherin pairing with any house, I feel that they get physical. I really think that they do. So I'm thinking
if we're super
Thor
comfortable with somebody. Yeah.
Thor and Loki. I'm thinking Monica and Chandler. I'm sorry, Monica and Ross. They'll beat the shit out of each
Nat
other.
And Clint.
Exactly.
Nat and
beat
Elena.
the shit out of each other. Yep. So they won't do that with just anybody, though. It has to be like your brother or sister. It has to be like your sibling or your very best friend. You can put hands on them. And they do it in a very Slytherin Gryffindor way where it's like, it's really no pulling any punches. They're spitting on each other. They're slapping the fuck out of each other. He's body slamming. He kicks his brother in the back after he's already down and then just keeps eating his cookie. And he's like, all right, anyway, what do we gotta do next? This is their dynamic and it's fantastic. And his brother allows for it because he's a giant fucking Gryffindor. Unfortunately, he doesn't have that many lines in the movie. You don't see that much of him.
His character fully revolves around like Chris.
Completely, but it is a very little Gryffindor sibling dynamic.
A really Gryffindor scene is when Chris is all mad and is leaving, and he's like, "All right, see you in the." He doesn't. That was Clark's line, but he's like, "All right, I guess talk to you later." He's just very cavalier. He's like,
"See you never."
Yeah, see you. He's like, "You boy jing me yet?" And Chris is silent, and he's like, and he slams the door. He's like, "All right, see you never." Yeah, literally that. Doesn't take his eyes off his phone or book or whatever.
Do whatever you
doing.
Fucking do, bro, because it's never gonna change their relationship. Like they'll always.
Or how he's fucking how Samantha figures out he's at Jamie's house and he's like, I'll never tell. And then she's kissing. Not even kiss. I don't know what she's doing. She's like licking him. Oh, that's another fucking funny line when Samantha tells her, she's like, I want to lick your skin off. He's like, please don't. Like he's like, fuck.
Oh my god.
He's with his lover. Like he's so dramatic. And then he goes with her. So she's in the car slamming into these people's house and he's like, Chris.
He fucking gets her tased and drops her off the railing in the mall. He's a fucking
and then
dumbass.
He feeds her Vicodin, like his mom's expired Vicodin. Yeah. He doesn't take her to the emergency room. He's like, she's got her toothpaste. She's fine.
It's unbelievable. The one that really cinched it for me was when him and Samantha are on their bed and they're just looking at Chris, who looks like he has murder in his face. And they're like, ha, doofus.
Doofus, you're doofus. No, you said the scene where they like are about to have sex too. And yes. You see, I'm naked.
No, but the one you pointed out where he's like, I'll never tell you. And then, fine, he's wherever. It's like
he's with his
Nick
lover.
Miller. It's the fucking Nick Miller quote where he's so like, you'll never get it out of me. All right, you drive a hard bargain. I'll tell you everything. It's so Gryffindor. Like, we just want to talk about it.
You do his Candon so well.
I know. It's bad. I hate it, actually.
You hear that voice in your head every day.
It's in there. I think if you heard my brain narrated, you'd hear Jake Johnson. But it's a very he plays
Johnson
a Gryffindor so
Nick
well.
Miller.
No, it's Jake Johnson because he's always Jake Johnson. He's always Nick Miller.
What house do you think Ryan Reynolds is? Because his characters have been different houses, and we talked about how Jack Black is always a Gryffindor in his character, but Jake Johnson's not always a Gryffindor because he plays Peter Parker. But he's on the end of the Slytherin scale that is almost Gryffindor as Peter Parker.
I might argue that he's so fucking good at committing to who he is because he's obsessed with the role of who he is that he might be a Hufflepuff.
Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
I can see that because I feel like he's in the same category of somebody else that we know. Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm getting at, yes. If we can say that about him, we're going to talk about that one day. We're going to talk about it one day. All right. Anywho.
Ryan Reynolds isn't dead either, but I needed to know because we just spoke about Jack Black and how Jack Black is always himself. And then
I'm slowly whittling Lauren down. We'll get to it.
You had the epiphany that you were like, he's always a Gryffindor. Do you think Jack Black's a Gryffindor? I think Jack Black is one of those special people that is so truly dedicated, which makes him extremely Gryffindor. It's just so truly dedicated to who he is that he's like.
I think I said this on the holiday episode. He can't be anything else.
Right.
He can't. It punches through the come on, yeah. It just pushes through like no matter what he does in every role. It's just he's gonna karate kick something. He's gonna an air guitar like he's gonna do it. All right, so Mike's a Gryffindor, which is hilarious. Because should we talk about Samantha?
Samantha James.
Should we talk about Samantha? Because I was just literally, I shit you not, I'm laying in bed and I wasn't watching the movie. And I'm talking to Lauren and I'm thinking about the clips from the movie. It's reeling through my mind. And I'm like,
you guys are assholes. Ron, you're an asshole.
It's all these clips, all these quotes reeling through my
with my guitar.
And I'm like, Lauren, you were so upset. Come out of this,
you were so upset.
I've just got a spark of an idea just thinking about this woman. If I come out, no, this is what I was saying to you. I was like, if I come out of this feeling like she's a Gryffindor, I'm gonna like lobotomize myself because in my mind I'm like, there's only 2 houses that behave this crazy, and I can't think of a system for her as I'm just the film reels going in my head, and I'm like, wow. Fuck, she's definitely a Gryffindor. And I went into it and I was like, no, I'm going to plead the Ravenclaw
I'll tell you,
case. Actually,
Rachel, there was a
really couldn't.
There was a solid 3 or 4 hours where I seriously contemplated Ravenclaw and was like really trying to get into it. And I'm going to tell you that the tipping point was you texting me.
I was like, really sorry.
I was like, no, she's a Gryffindor. If Rachel is also, I'm like, no.
Yeah, because
I was, and it's also because I was trying so hard to make it work. That I had to.
I know.
I was between the 2 houses, and my gut it wasn't my gut necessarily, but I wanted, especially with the run of Ravenclaws that we had, I wanted to have that immediate feeling. It was so close.
I know.
It was so close, but I was like, I'm not having it,
dude. It's touching it. It's like we always say when the lines touch the other houses. Like Gryffindors either are going to touch Ravenclaw or Hufflepuff. She really fucking touches Hufflepuff. I'm sorry, really touches Ravenclaw. She's like she's got a fucking toe in there. She dips a toe in there because it's real. It's very close to giving off the vibe of one, but you have to really you really have to argue with yourself to make it work because the evidence is being presented in front of you in her fucking character. The woman is a raging Gryffindor in every single way. To a point where it's scary because she does get scary. So
it's clear that she's got something going. I mean, she mentions a sponsor when she's calling Chris. She's like, Chris, I just talked to my sponsor.
Dude, she's a rock star. She's got the typical rock star pop star problems.
Yeah. She's not some bubblegum pop rock star who's not connected to her fans. Jamal,
I am a serious artist.
Where would you find the perfect cross-section of your fans in New Jersey? Jamal, Samantha, the way Anna Faris is so good. The way her face like breaks into this maniacal grin where she's like, ha ha, I did it. And he's like, you're so great. She's like, I know.
You see
Mikey does that to her too. Yeah, Mikey's like, you're so hot. She's like, I know.
Yeah. And she's like, how many times did you whack off my poster? And he's like 8 times a day. She's like, 8, that's so hot. 8, so hot.
She's like, 8, that's so hot.
I'm horny.
And
she's so good.
2 weeks.
Oh my God. And she doesn't even care. She doesn't even care that she's there with fucking Chris. Which is so funny because if Chris turned around and did it to her with Jamie, she raged out. But it's the typical Gryffindor bullshit.
Yeah,
it's different.
She's
a pop star.
What does she call her? The Santa whore or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, something like that.
No,
little whore.
We're gonna be the hottest manager musical couple since Jessica Simpson are dead. Except we can, rawr, and they can't. I checked.
I know. I looked it up. Forgiveness. That right there was almost scary because like I watch myself talk like that sometimes where I'm like I go on a fucking stream and I'm like yeah anyway. I would know because I looked it up.
I looked up if incest is legal anyway.
Yeah she again like it's certain
Chris,
actors capture this shit. I love the middle class actually. I love your home is so quaint.
It's so provincial.
Provincial.
Daddy, we're down. Daddy, we're down. Is this punked? Am I unpunked? Ashton!
Not happy.
I swear to God, I could quote this whole movie. I really could go through this movie.
Oh my God. She's so fucking funny. So she's another one though that like she really grasped the chaos of a Gryffindor's brain when you're that fucking wild. It's like a little Sweet D from Always Sunny. It's like real, it's far. But you know, she's what I told Lauren, how I view her is the love child of Blair Waldorf and Serena Vanderwoodson, except Blair really wasn't there to help guide her.
She didn't raise her.
Serena popped in and out like her mom did, and this is the fucking this is what you get. Just because I'm watching it and I'm like, who do you remind me of?
The best is all the fucking messages she leaves him.
Yeah.
Hey Chris, I just talked to my sponsor and she said, Chris, it's Samantha, call me back. Chris, I feel really bad. It's Samantha.
How about she figures out where he is and drives a fucking car into the girl's family home? Yeah,
almost into Granny. Like she's aiming for the people. Like
she is. She straight up is.
And she's like, Samantha, that's a Gryffindor. What about your song? Forgiveness. Forgive this, bitch. She fucking
Yup. Yeah. Gryffindors can go through some highs and lows real quick. And it's really well depicted here. It's also well depicted in Mike because in like their sibling relationship, it's the same shit. High, low, and it just snaps back and forth. The rubber band just ping pong. It's bonkers. It's fucking bonkers.
No, and
truly.
They're fucking like the way that they introduce her is she's on this commercial where she's raising money to bring vegan food to Africa. Like that's what they need there. And so it's obviously making fun of celebrities who are doing like useless shit that like not actually helping people, like just doing it for like image purposes. But you can tell that she truly like this is the Gryffindor in her too. She really thinks that she's doing good and she really thinks like she's this great. Like she believes it, you know. She says "I know" to everything people tell her. She's like, "Yeah, and I'm an amazing pop star, and I'm helping people with my music." Yep. She's like, "I've got to be real, strumming my guitar."
She means it.
Yeah, she really does. Totally serious.
And this is like I've talked about this on the pod before. Every Gryffindor has a trigger point. Every single one of us has a specific personal trigger point. I truly believe that, and hers is not being taken seriously. So when she's at like the Metalhead concert, for example, and they're not taking her seriously, and she comes to the realization that they're mocking her and they throw something at her, she jumps off the fucking stage and starts beating the shit out of a man that's like 300 pounds of muscle. And she's like, yeah, bitch, you want some?
And the guy's like saying sorry. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Yep, and she just does not care. And that's it. And you know what? Chris susses that out real quick because that's how he gets her out of the house.
I think she's
thought you wanted to be a serious artist.
Yeah,
he knows.
Other than Dusty, I think she's also the one character on the show where they're like, black and white, this is a bad person.
Yeah, she just, okay, yeah, definitely. I get what you're saying, black and white, bad person, but I think what's sad is like she could have probably been a good person.
She could have been if somebody was like helping her. Yeah. And it's not bad. Chris's responsibility to like make her a better person, and he doesn't want to. He doesn't care about her. So like, why would he?
She's the quintessential pop star. She's a caricature for what you're supposed to look at Hollywood and see. You're not supposed to take this people seriously.
Everybody in the early 2000s were modeled after who Paris Hilton was pretending to be, right?
Exactly.
So.
And she's got a lot of like what people perceive Britney as too. Like the actual poster of her looks like the Rolling Stone cover of Britney. Yeah. And you know, a lot of it's very intentional. Like this is a Hollywood dum-dum, and she's not, I actually don't think she's dumb at all. I don't think she was dumb. Perceptive.
She got to where she is. Like, you know, like how
the scene of her eye opening after she fucking hears their whisper argument.
Where she's like, I've got it. No, and she I think she was being actually genuine when she was like, when she's in his house and she's like, you doing that to me made me write the best music that I've ever written in my life. I think she was actually like, believed it. I mean, she believes everything she says about herself, but she was genuinely like, I made some great art based off of this trauma that you put me through. So.
Yep. Thank you for more trauma. Trauma. Darla.
Do you want more girls? I like other girls.
She's like the exact kind of Gryffindor that like they can't hide at all. They cannot do any form of masking. It's just like who they are is who they're exuding 24/7. Whatever weird manic feeling or panic that they're in, it's always going to be them exuding themselves.
The constant
and she's
thought.
very that. She's one long stream of
That's what this movie is. It's just everybody's intrusive thoughts.
I agree. Most of it's really funny. And then we got to talk about Jamie. Yeah, Jamie Palomino.
Jamie Palomino.
So Jamie, I think, gets a horrible rap because if you were hot and popular in high school, like, you know, I was, then you know that, well, I wouldn't say I'm hot and popular now, but I was in high school and I knew it. And like, you get a lot of fucking attention and whatever. You just do. And here, look, I'll be the Samantha James, like, I know it. I know who I was. Like, she didn't fucking ask for any of that. She was just a pretty girl. That's it. She had a lot of male attention. I didn't like some of the jokes that I was hearing in the movie.
Like they threw her that party.
Me. It was like she went into the garage with the whole football team. Like, ha, funny joke.
Yeah, she was there dancing.
She was having fun.
Yeah.
This is all this girl was doing, even as a teenager. So even if
they mitigated that a little bit because she dated that football player and he came upstairs and was like, yeah. And then her and Chris were laughing like, can't believe you dated that guy. And she's like, I know, he was an asshole. Like, I only dated him a few months. Like, yeah.
And I really don't think that she was like hugely or horribly leading Chris on either. When you see the videos of them when they're kids, they were having fun. She genuinely is like, I love you, Chris Brennan. Like, she loved him. And maybe she had an inkling that he had a crush on her and whatever, but you're 17, 18, you're a kid. You don't know how to mitigate those feelings. You don't know how to, you don't know what to do. Like, okay, you kind of like the attention and you're not doing it to be malicious or mean. And he's there and he's constantly showering her with praise and love. And it's
giving her flowers on Valentine's Day.
Exactly. They're fucking little children.
When you grow up together, like sometimes it takes longer for that switch to flip in somebody's head, you know, like, because you've known this person your entire life and you see them this one way. That might have something to do with their house a little bit. Yeah.
So she's a Hufflepuff.
Yes.
But I just really wanted to take a moment and defend her because for all the girls, and like Lauren, I'm sure you can relate to it too because as a pretty girl, I'm sure you were a pretty girl in high school.
Oh yeah,
too.
I was sure so popular in high school.
Forget popular, just like being. You were just a
yes,
pretty nice girl with friends.
I don't remember if I talked about this on the friend zone. Yes, there have been plenty of times where I did have a lot of guy friends, and I easily get along with guys, sometimes better than other girls. I'm that girl, but
I'm not like other girls.
But no, yeah. But plenty of times I have like been friends with somebody, and then they'll get to the point where they're like interested, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with this, you know,
right.
Like,
and then you get made out to be the bad person in that situation,
right?
It happened to me plenty of times in my youth.
Like, no, we were just chilling. We were having fun.
It's wrong. Exactly. Yeah. And that's how she's looking at him. So you have a moment where you're like, oh, was she like leading him on at all? And then you're like, no, she really wasn't. She was a kid.
Comfortable with him.
Right. Which she felt safe, which is why it bugs me when this happens and it gets turned on her. And he says the really vile line of like, and you're the girl that peaked in high school or whatever. And it's
he was trying to hurt her.
And it was a really hurtful thing to say.
Well, she expressed her insecurity about how, like, I know I'm living with my parents and, like, I don't have a job yet, really. And, you know.
Yeah, even though she's very actively bettering herself, she's very, did we say she's Hufflepuff?
Yeah, you said.
Big reveal if I didn't. She's very big in her community. She's very big in her hometown. She really cares about those people on a deep, actual level. She goes to the church. She's a great substitute teacher. The kids love her. The adults love her. She's volunteering at the vet, right? She's a vet. She does something with animals. She's fucking cleaning a dog.
She was at her house. It was her dog. She was watching her dog.
Something with the vet. Oh, no, maybe I just put that in my brain.
No, they did have. I was gonna say this because I thought it was so interesting. The movie was doing this on purpose. They were putting her in stereotypical like. And anytime that he called her, no, I think they did it on purpose to like send a message. But she was like, whenever she was doing like the I'm not like other girls things whenever he called her, like she would be baking or she was washing a whole ass dog. Yeah.
Because she is actually, I think they also want you to, she is genuinely a wholesome person. She is a good person. She's not the person that men, I have to say it's men, painted her out to be in high school or now. Like, she's not some big unattainable prize that's out there just to fucking torture you because she's pretty and you like her. And they really drove that point home, and I really appreciate that from this movie. She's just simply not the problem. And she genuinely, like, it's a very Hufflepuff thing.
What is that?
Genuinely.
What is that line from? Is that Meg? I am not a prize to be won. No, who the fuck was that?
I'm not surprised to be
No, it's Jasmine from Aladdin.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Yeah, you're right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Same vibes as Megra, but
It is. It is, yeah. We got to sort them.
Yeah, we do.
So,
Haven't done any Disney yet because we're holding off for Hercules, but we won't do it. Because the second we do, the fucking Russo brothers are going to come out with their awful casting list, and I'm going to have to leave the planet. I just will.
I'm going to fucking come for
I
you,
refuse
brother.
to live in a world where they cast it incorrectly. They can fuck up the whole plot if they cast it incorrect. If they cast it correctly, I don't care.
I won't watch it. Okay.
Well, I won't acknowledge it, but I'll know it's out there. And
yeah, it's it's out there. But I was going to say that one of the big Hufflepuff things about her that's very, very obvious throughout the movie is that she really appreciates honesty and genuine people. And I think for Hufflepuff, for the sense of like real justice and for focusing on what really matters, I think most of them really do value a sense of truth and honesty in a human being. So when he's not being truthful, she immediately is ready to write him off. But then she sees him in the car and he's like freaking out. And she sees the moment of him freaking out in the car.
Oh, I forgot to say that's so Slytherin. The thing that he does where he like messes up his word. I do that all the time. If I fuck up words in a meeting, I'll get off the meeting and I'll stand up and I'll just go like shake my hands. God. I do that exact thing. I do it.
That's so funny. I think for me, it's a constant stream of like, as I'm talking, I'm like, you fucking idiot. Why would you say that?
No.
You're so fucking stupid.
I get through it and then I go somewhere private and I just like nonsense sounds at myself.
It just happened to be at work today. I'm walking up the stairs and the lady that works in the admin, she's walking down the stairs and she's got on big heels and we're the only ones in the hall and her heels are making a really loud noise and I'm wearing Uggs, so they're not. And she's like, oh my gosh, my heels are making they're so loud. And I was like, hey, I like loud shoes. What the fuck? And she was like, But I do. I like the click clack.
Yeah, I do. But that was an intrusive thought that you put out there into the world.
And I
this
just
lady was just trying to talk to herself.
And I was in my head, I'm like, you're so fucking stupid. Oh well. How was that?
I'm sure that's Samantha James, but I'm sure the cycle is much, much faster. Like she barely thinks I'm stupid before she's like, no, I'm not.
I'm not stupid at all, actually. My God, to be that kind of Gryffindor, that'd be great. So yeah, she values the truth and the honesty in a person. So when she sees a glimpse of it, I think it chinks at her armor a little bit, even though she's kind of ready to write him off. And so she is willing to go out with him and hang out with him again. And she very much like she rips him for it. She's like, oh, because you're some big Hollywood producer, man.
I think it's some homage to the Chris that she knew too, that she gives him so many chances.
Yeah.
She loved
There's that Hufflepuff loyalty everybody talks about.
She loved Chris Brander. He was her best friend for how many years? Like the entirety of their growing up. So,
I think they mentioned 6th grade. Like they were kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, she definitely, there's a sense of loyalty to him and she's just like, what happened to him? And there's a sense of, she obviously wants to see the good in him, gives him a couple of chances here and there to show it. But right off the bat, when she sees glimpses of who he actually is, she's very willing to give a relationship with him a shot. But she's not willing to like suffer his foolish bullshit.
Yeah, and
she will tell him get the fuck out.
I will say this, and I don't think this goes against anything that we've been saying or that the movie is saying. When he shows up and Darla's like mouthing like, she's like, oh shit. Like, he's hot. I'm sorry, but he's hot. Yeah. And I also think it's a little bit of like, he just up and left and never spoke to her again for 10 years.
Yeah.
And now he's back. And she's like,
That's
oh my God.
Crazy.
Oh my God. What do I do? He's back. She doesn't know him anymore. She no longer like, it's such a, I've had this before. It's so weird because this is somebody you felt so totally comfortable and safe with. And then some time passes and they come back and then you're like, are you the same person that I feel that way with, or are you different now? So you still kind of feel that way, but then you're also like, I don't know that I should feel this way because I don't actually think I know you. So she was like, yeah, it was a lot. She was like, who are you? You are very attractive. Like what's going on? Yeah. The last thing you told me was you love me and then you left forever.
Yeah. She's in a real rough spot the whole fucking movie.
Yeah, she is.
Like, she does nothing wrong. I actually really love her character. I think she's very
Who was that
sweet.
actress? I don't know if I've ever seen her in anything else.
Oh, really? She was in a lot of shit in the early 2000s.
What was she in?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but she's very familiar.
Research team.
They're on it.
Oh, Amy Smart. I do know Amy Smart.
Amy Smart. That's her name.
I know Amy Smart. What were you in? I know you. I know your name.
She's in a lot of shit. She's waiting for a response from the research team.
Yes.
She is a wonderful character that I really, really enjoy. And I think she's someone who's worthy of respect. I think she's a very commendable person. And she does not suffer bullshit from him. He comes into the place drunk. He comes into the place after insulting her and all this shit. And she's just, get the fuck out. I don't want to hear it. Until he shows a genuine side of himself. Until he gives a genuine apology. He's not there to hurt her. He's not there to manipulate her. He's not there to get something out of her. And she clocks it.
And then she's like, and now we'll have sex.
Correct.
That's right. She did 12 Dates of Christmas. Fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
She's on CW now, or she was. That show got canceled.
Aw.
She was in Stargirl.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, she has a very rom-com-y face to me. I know I've seen her in shit.
Yeah, 12 Dates of Christmas is what I know her name from.
Yeah. All right. Well, so she's a Hufflepuff. So we got a Hufflepuff Slytherin relationship, which they're always delicious. Love those. And then we've got Chris and Mike's mom.
Mrs. Brander?
Lauren just so helpfully texted me.
Be yourself.
The mom's a Ravenclaw, you know. It's like, I know. She's just so... There it is again. One of those Ravenclaws that are real obvious. Like, this is what I wanted Samantha James to do for me.
I know.
As a Ravenclaw. I wanted her to scream it.
There's that fucking... When she makes the cookies and Mikey's eating them, she just goes, bye, Mikey, be back in an hour. I'm like, where's she going? She doesn't tell him.
What do you do? Yeah. What do you do with your time?
Well, she goes on dates with her son.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. She does. But she's got a whole fucking thing.
When Jamie writes him the card and signs it XOXO, and Chris is like, see, she signed it with hugs and kisses. That means she likes me. And Mikey's like, dude, mom does that on my cards. And she's like, that's because I love you both because you're just so special. And they're like, thank you, mommy.
Thank you, mommy. Yeah. What a good mom.
She is.
She's a good mom.
I can't believe her husband divorced her. What a dick.
Yeah, fuck him. I want to just quickly say that Amy Smart also is on Shameless. That's another place I know her from.
That's something I should watch so we can.
The Butterfly Effect with Ashton Kutcher, which is like something I should watch. Huge when we were kids.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's an invaded pop culture.
Yeah. Oh my God, Road Trip. Oh my God, Rat Race. Oh my God, Felicity. All right, listen, we're going into weird places of my brain I haven't touched in a while. Felicity, my God. Remember when she cut her hair and it was like a big deal? All right. I
don't know who you're talking about.
Felicity. You don't know the show Felicity?
Mm-mm.
It was on the WB?
Well, the WB died before I really started watching things, so.
Weird.
Yeah, it died in 2006, right? 2007. So I was in just at elementary school.
I feel like it died earlier than that.
No, that was it because Supernatural's first 2 seasons were on the WB. Or something like that. Veronica Mars.
All that old shit. They had Charmed. They had Buffy. They had whatever. When TV used to be good.
Didn't they have the Animaniacs?
I don't know. Probably. Yeah.
They were owned by Warner Brothers.
I remember the Warner Brothers logo.
Well, yeah, they are Warner Brothers, but I assume they're on.
I don't fucking know. I hate Animaniacs.
I might have watched Animaniacs to be totally honest. And Pinky and the Brain.
I absolutely hate Animaniacs.
Pinky and the Brain.
I'm putting that on my list. Hold on. I gotta go put Animaniacs on my list.
Rachel has an ongoing list of things that she irrationally hates. You don't like the country song?
That's why I hate them.
Oh my
God. Good. Got it. You're going to tell me I spelled that wrong? You're going to tell me I spelled a fake fuck you. I'm going to put autocorrect on this list next. Anyway, I hate the Animaniacs. You can quote me on that. And you can tell them I said it. So.
I will never get that WB sponsorship.
They're dead. What don't you understand?
No, they're not. They're building. Did you see they're going to make HBO free? Did you see that? What are they doing? Yeah. What are they doing?
My friend in high school had the best shirt I've ever seen. It just was the WB logo, and it just said, "If you see the police, Warner Brother."
Yeah,
and it was the WB logo.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And it's stuck in my head forever. He was so fucking funny. Oh my God, is it a meme? I thought he was so
I've
clever.
Seen Warner Brother. Yeah,
Warner Brother. That's fantastic. All right, so we've done the main. We got Dusty.
You gotta do Dusty.
Son of a bitch. Oh, Dusty. Well, let me think about it. I actually didn't think about him at all.
I go by Dusty Lee now.
What a pig. The way he drops the axe.
Remember to clean that retainer because your mouth is a cesspool. Chris, put it back in your mouth. Chris,
what even is? I'm gonna just tell you he's a Ravenclaw. I'm just gonna tell you that.
No, I was gonna say he has to be because he's a little bit of a sociopath. Like
he's a
tiny bit. Yeah,
it's crazy. Like he puts everything into what he's doing at that moment, but the second it just goes a little bit wrong, like it's a little bit. This is no longer entertaining to me or feasible for me. I'm gonna move on, and I don't care if you see that I'm a dick. Good. You didn't do what I wanted. It's like one of those vengeful, weird Ravenclaws.
Yeah, he's
creepy.
Simply Dusty. Is there any
do you
other
guys
kind?
see the dichotomy, the difference between the mother and Dusty?
Mrs.
Same
Brader,
fucking
put some
house.
respect on her name.
You're right. Same house.
Joyce.
Same house.
Joyce. No, Mom.
Joyce.
What are you doing at Joyce's house?
What are you doing?
Prime rib or meatloaf?
She's so
What are
cute.
you doing at Joyce's house? No, Mom. I'm on the phone, literally 10 feet away from you in the living room. Oh.
Oh my God. I love that. There's so many little things in that, like the landlines and people picking up phones when you're in the other fucking room. Like,
fucking when they show up at the house and Samantha's like, isn't Chris the best? He's just the greatest. And she's like licking the side of his face. And his mom's like, well, yes, he is a very nice boy. She's like molesting him.
Yeah. She's like, well, if this is how they choose to live, that's great. As long as my boy's happy. No judgment here.
Very nice boy.
She was definitely like a pole dancer and like had a really crazy, wonderful past. Like she was the hottest stripper.
She goes out that night to the metal house. She
110% she does. She's a secret badass. I know it. I feel it. Is there anyone else?
Not fucking. That was the other bad line. I was just thinking of Jamie's dad. That was the other really bad line in the show. God damn it. It was really bad.
But I told Lauren the person that they made the bad joke about is a
he's a bad person.
He's a horrible person.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh well, not gonna fight you about it. Don't really care that much.
He wasn't at the time though, and it's offensive to other people as well. But
well, then they can write a letter about it. Fuck that guy. So I think we got everybody that matters.
Clark and Darla. Well, we said they're Hufflepuff. They're Hufflepuff. There's not really anything to say about them yet.
No. Sorry, Hufflepuffs. You got a lot with Jamie though. I gave you a lot of
Clark
good
and
shit.
Darla. Yeah, that was everybody in that movie.
Yeah, it's just a great movie. It's please if you haven't seen it, go watch it. If you haven't seen it,
God, how have you not seen it?
Lauren, a lot of people haven't.
That's upsetting.
I told you when you told me you liked it, I was like, oh my God, that's fucking crazy.
How is it not an institution?
Because I've said it to other people and they have not even heard of it.
Like, unlike The Holiday, which I can't believe that people like don't mention when they're listing favorite Christmas movies, but then they know it. Like, I don't think Just Friends is confined to Holiday. Like, I could watch that shit at literally any time.
For sure, but it's just, those kinds of movies weren't always everyone's cup of tea. Like, even when we were in that time, they are wrong. It was always funny. It will always be funny. It's really entertaining. I have an issue with the ending, only because I have an issue with a lot of movies.
Fucking Anna Faris was in Waitress with Ryan Reynolds. They were in another movie together.
Nice.
And they had the best dynamic.
Nice.
They had probably the exact same dynamic, to be totally honest, but slightly different. They were the same houses, I think.
I'm happy for him with Blake Lively, but they would have been a great couple.
They're the same houses in Waitressing.
Aw.
Do that movie. Now that I've spoiled it.
That's nice.
Watch that movie,
you haven't
too.
said what the house is.
Well,
I'll sort any Anna Faris movie. She's fantastic.
What's My Number is also legitimately, no joke, one of my favorite movies. I don't usually find Chris Evans hot. He is the hottest person in the world in that movie. I don't know what to tell you. Rachel's making faces at me, but I don't usually find him hot, so don't give me faces. Just the whole vibe he's got going is a good one.
Yeah.
With the towel over his dick.
I thought he was lovely in Knives Out.
Okay.
He was handsome.
Yeah.
Chris, when you listen to this episode, just know that I thought you were handsome in that movie.
So thank you.
Aw, you're so welcome. I think that's all we got. I just really recommend that you go watch it. If you saw it when you were younger and you haven't seen it in a long time, like go back and watch it. It's so fucking worth it. Despite some of the problematic jokes, like the story itself, the acting, the physical comedy. Oh,
so good.
So good. So good. You can't pass up Anna Faris and Ryan Reynolds together. You can't. So this was a delight to rewatch and to talk about. I'm really happy that Lauren loved it as much as I did so that we could talk about it.
Next December, we'll be like, what the fuck are we supposed to talk about?
I know, right?
Yeah. I can't tell you.
I guess we'll have to do the Grinch.
I cannot tell you what we'll be sorting next time because Rachel had the plague and we have not had a chance to build our schedule. It's a totally fucking mystery to us. It cannot, well, if it's going to be a TV show, we better figure it out like right the fuck now because I need to watch it. But I don't know, guys.
Yeah, I'll
total
do a movie.
mystery. We just did 2 movies.
So
3 movies.
Happy New Year. We're going to do a New Year movie.
What fucking...
We're going to do a New Year's movie. I'll be feeding up bottles with you on
New Year's movie.
Year's Day.
We we got to make our schedule because I need to know what I'm spending months and months rewatching, like I did with Gossip Girl and New Girl last year.
I have to watch Once Upon a Time, so that's
yes, you do, but you know what the date for that is? Sometime in March.
Did I give you a task for my birthday yet?
What do you want to do? You've said Buffy, but you are afraid to make me watch Buffy. So I genuinely will. I mean, I've tried to. I may make you just. I
have
to get past that one episode. I just have to get past that one episode, and then I'll break free. I may force you to do Wayne's World. That's not forcing me. I'll watch Wayne's World. I've never seen it.
1 and 2.
Okay, I've never seen either one. Although it takes place in Aurora, Illinois.
It does. That's the only reason I knew Illinois was on a map when I was a kid, because of Wayne Campbell. All right. Well,
anyway,
we're gonna go.
Sounds
Lauren's
like we have our birthdays sorted. Yeah, I'm going to Nashville. I hope you all enjoy whichever holiday you celebrate this time of year.
Happy holidays. Enjoy.
Keep jinging. Yeah, and then enjoy the new year. Enjoy the fucking hate 3s. So 2023 is an awful year, but whatever.
The what?
I don't like 3s. It's an ugly number. So is 9. So I'm going to be 29 in 2023, and it's disgusting.
Huh.
I don't like odd numbers in general, but those ones.
No, me neither. I fucking hate odd numbers.
Yeah. Oh my God. We're so in sync.
Totally. Enjoy your holiday season, and we'll catch you next year.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Sort of Brilliant. If our sorting choices inspired any rage or excitement, we'd love to hear from you. We're open to feedback, suggestions for characters to sort, and solid counter-arguments with citations.
Never forget your citations. You can find us hanging out on Twitter and Instagram at SOB_pod or shoot us an email at sortofbrilliant@gmail.com.
And since we're not above begging, please rate and subscribe to Sort of Brilliant on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Please share our posts on social media. And if you're a Gryffindor, maybe you'll inspire sorting fights among your own friend group.
The theme music is Hot Shot by Scott Holmes. Can't wait to sort with you again next time. Bye!